Why did Jin and Jungkook suddenly appear at TXT's concert, leaving thousands of fans shocked and raising a wave of speculation that refuses to fade? The unexpected sight of two of BTS's most influential members inside a venue dominated by MWs, but quickly echoed by ARMY chants, has turned into one of the most talked about mysteries in recent K-pop history. The question is no longer about whether they were there, but why they were there, and what message their presence was meant to deliver. The atmosphere inside the venue shifted the very moment the cameras caught Jin and Jungkook in the crowd. It was not a rehearsed introduction, not a formal announcement, but a fleeting image that spread like wildfire across social media. Within seconds, posts multiplied. Jin and Jungkook are here? Why? For TXT? For something bigger? The tone was not merely surprise. It was suspicion. Fans who had anticipated nothing more than a celebratory TXT concert suddenly found themselves embroiled in an unfolding drama of interpretation, speculation, and intense curiosity. Observers noted how unusual the appearance was. Jin, who had only recently stepped back into the public eye after a long period of absence, and Jungkook, whose solo activities continued to dominate international charts, stood together in a space meant to spotlight TXT. This was not an ordinary coincidence. It raised more questions than answers. Was this a signal of an upcoming collaboration? Was it a strategic decision meant to connect generations of HYB's most powerful acts? Or was it a simple show of support that coincidentally unleashed a storm of rumors? The incident cannot be separated from the context in which it happened. TXT, as one of the fastest rising groups in the global scene, represents the future of HYB's expanding empire. BTS, on the other hand, remains the cornerstone, the act that defined K-pop's entry into true worldwide dominance. To have two members of BTS, especially Jin, the face of the group, and Jungkook, the golden magne, present at TXT's event is more than an act of camaraderie. It feels like a carefully timed spectacle, and ARMY has not failed to notice the implications. Reactions inside the arena were immediate and overwhelming. The crowd, initially chanting for TXT, shifted in an instant. Cries of Jin and Jungkook began echoing across the seats, momentarily overpowering even the performance on stage. Some fans captured the moment TXT themselves paused, visibly aware of the change in energy. The appearance of their seniors not only electrified the atmosphere, but created a tension between two fan bases that are usually allied but now found themselves questioning the true purpose of such an interruption. Online discussions that followed did not calm the storm. Instead, they accelerated it. Comment sections filled with theories, some suggesting it was a test to gauge public reaction, others claiming it was a symbolic gesture meant to bridge BTS's temporary hiatus with TXT's active dominance. There were even whispers that this could be the beginning of a larger, more elaborate project, one that fans were never supposed to see this early. And in the absence of clear explanation, the suspicions only deepened. What added fuel to the fire was Jin's visible emotion. Witnesses reported how his eyes glistened, as though fighting back tears while fans screamed his name. Why would a simple attendance evoke such an intense reaction from him? Could it have been nostalgia for BTS's earlier days, when they too performed for crowds that grew from small gatherings into massive stadiums? Or was it a reflection of something heavier, a sign that his presence carried meaning far beyond a casual appearance? Jungkook, usually known for his composed public demeanor, was also caught in moments of visible tension. At one point, he leaned close to Jin, speaking words that were not audible to the crowd but were enough to trigger speculation. Fans dissected the brief interaction frame by frame, asking, what was Jungkook telling Jin? Was it reassurance? Was it a shared secret? Was it connected to their sudden attendance at TXT's concert? These lingering questions demonstrate why this incident has not faded from headlines. Unlike ordinary celebrity appearances, this one was wrapped in secrecy, timing, and emotional cues that fans could not ignore. Every gesture, every glance, every chant from the crowd became material for analysis. And instead of calming the waters, the silence from official channels only intensified the storm. Industry watchers argue that such appearances are rarely unplanned. The world of K-pop is built on precision, timing, and strategy. Nothing happens without a reason. That is why Jin and Jungkook's presence is so striking. If this was meant as support, why not publicize it? If it was meant as a surprise, why allow them to be so easily spotted? And if it was meant to remain private, why appear at all in a setting guaranteed to erupt into chaos the moment fans recognize them? The contradictions are impossible to ignore. Armies, known for their sharp instincts and ability to detect hidden patterns, have treated this as more than a coincidence. For them, this was a puzzle dropped in plain sight, a test of perception, and perhaps even a challenge from their idols to uncover the truth. And as history has shown, ARMY rarely leaves a mystery unsolved. But this time, the silence surrounding the event has made it one of the rare unsolved enigmas in BTS's timeline. Turning speculation into collective obsession, theories have spiraled further. Some insist that this is tied to an upcoming announcement involving both groups, others that it is a symbolic handover of stage presence from BTS to TXT during the transitional era of military enlistments. More dramatic interpretations go as far as suggesting that Jin and Jungkook's presence was an unspoken declaration that BTS's unity remains unshaken, visible even in the shadows of another group's spotlight. Each interpretation carries emotional weight, and each fuels the ongoing debate. In the end, the night at TXT's concert has become less about TXT themselves and more about the ripple effect created by Jin and Jungkook. The images, the chants, the tears, and the unspoken tension have carved a permanent mark in the memory of fans. And until clarity arrives, if it ever does, this moment will remain a turning point in the narrative of BTS, TXT, and HYB as a whole. The real question that refuses to die is simple yet haunting. What exactly were Jin and Jungkook trying to tell us by being there? Until that answer emerges, the suspicion will only deepen, the theories will only expand, and the emotional impact will continue to linger. For now, all that is certain is this: their presence was not ordinary, not casual, and not without consequence. ARMY knows it. The industry knows it, and the silence that follows speaks louder than any statement. The sudden presence of Jin and Jungkook at TXT's concert continues to generate heated discussion, but beyond the thrill of speculation lies a far more pressing question. Can we truly trust what we saw? Was this incident an authentic moment that unfolded naturally, or was it deliberately constructed to trigger shockwaves across social media platforms? The answer is far from simple, and it demands that fans and observers alike reflect carefully before drawing conclusions. Many are asking whether the appearance was real or an illusion amplified by digital media. With countless videos, screenshots, and live tweets circulating across TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and other outlets, one must ask, do viral clips always represent reality? Or can they be staged, edited, or even misinterpreted to serve the powerful engines of hype and sensationalism? If the truth lies somewhere in between, then what exactly did audiences witness that night? This line of questioning exposes a deeper issue in the modern media landscape. Every second, fans consume fragments of information, camera angles captured by individuals, narratives spun by influencers, and unverified claims that spread faster than official statements ever could. But are we, as consumers, capable of distinguishing fact from fabrication? Or are we unknowingly complicit in fueling stories that may never have taken place as we imagine them? The gravity of Jin and Jungkook's rumored presence forces us to examine our own reactions. Why did so many immediately accept the images as proof? Why did countless fans treat speculation as fact without hesitation? Could it be that the longing for BTS's unity and visibility is so powerful that any sign, however ambiguous, is embraced without question? And if so, what does this say about the delicate balance between emotional attachment and rational judgment? This is not the first time K-pop narratives have spiraled beyond the control of reality. Time and again, the industry has witnessed how a single unverified image can ignite rumors of hidden romances, secret collaborations, or backstage conflicts. Each time, the line between truth and fiction blurs. The spectacle of Jin and Jungkook at TXT's concert may be yet another instance where the audience's desire for a dramatic storyline overpowers the demand for hard evidence. But does that possibility diminish the emotional impact felt by thousands of fans in that moment? Or does it reveal how easily emotions can be manipulated? Consider this carefully. If the appearance was orchestrated purely for publicity, what does it mean for ARMY and MOA, who responded with genuine emotion? Are their cheers, tears, and speculations merely pawns in a larger strategy of entertainment marketing? And if the appearance was indeed authentic, why has no clear explanation followed, leaving space for endless interpretations? The ambiguity is itself a weapon, one that sustains engagement by withholding clarity. One must also ask whether this is precisely the point, to keep fans suspended in a state of uncertainty, where speculation generates constant visibility and conversation. If so, then ARMY's suspicions are not misplaced, but are in fact the exact reaction that ensures the incident achieves maximum impact. Yet, is this ethical? Should artists and fans alike be drawn into cycles of engineered suspense, where truth is secondary to viral effect? Or should we resist, demanding evidence before surrendering our belief to stories that spread like wildfire? The challenge now is to separate emotional intensity from factual reliability. Yes, Jin appeared to hold back tears. Yes, Jungkook was seen leaning close, whispering words that stirred curiosity. But were these genuine gestures of unplanned presence, or carefully staged cues designed to provoke analysis? And if fans allow themselves to believe without proof, are they not exposing themselves to potential disappointment, manipulation, or even disillusionment? This is where critical reflection becomes essential. Every fan must ask, am I consuming truth or performance? Am I witnessing reality or a crafted narrative? Such questions are uncomfortable, but they are necessary in an era where the boundaries between spectacle and authenticity grow thinner by the day. The responsibility lies not only with the industry, but also with audiences, who must cultivate skepticism in order to protect themselves from exploitation. In the end, the incident at TXT's concert may never be fully explained. Perhaps Jin and Jungkook were truly there, driven by personal bonds of support. Perhaps the entire scenario was engineered to spark precisely the kind of frenzy we now observe. Or perhaps the truth lies in a gray area, part reality, part design. What matters is how fans choose to interpret it. Do they accept the spectacle at face value, allowing their emotions to dominate? Or do they take a step back, recognizing the possibility that even the most moving moments can be shaped by forces unseen? Therefore, we leave the final judgment in your hands, the reader's hands. What do you believe? Do you stand firmly convinced that Jin and Jungkook's appearance was genuine, a rare glimpse of sincerity within an unpredictable industry? Or do you suspect that this was a calculated move, an orchestrated mystery designed to capture headlines and dominate feeds? And most importantly, Will you, moving forward, allow yourself to believe every narrative that spreads online, or will you embrace skepticism, demanding proof before emotion? In an age where TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter can manufacture reality in seconds, skepticism is no longer optional. It is essential. Reflect carefully. Question deeply. Decide wisely. Because the line between truth and spectacle has never been thinner, and the cost of blind belief has never been higher.